Chapter 3. On Monday, Mom had approved of Jeff as my crew member, but I thought I'd better clear it with him personally. What if he arrived on Friday and didn't want to go sailing for some reason? Then I'd have to scramble around for a new crew member, and if I couldn't find one, then we'd have to reschedule the match, and Becca would be disappointed, and Claude would be upset. I wasn't really worrying. I was just examining all angles. I was looking at the big picture, so on Monday night, I called Jeff. The 3-hour time difference between the East Coast and the West Coast is such a pain. I usually wait until 10 o'clock p.m. my time, knowing Jeff and Dad will probably be home at 7 o'clock their time. I also usually interrupted their dinner. Tuesday was no exception. At 10 on the nose, I picked up the phone and dialed my dad's house. Jeff answered. Usually, he answers it normally, but that night he said in a deep voice, "Hello, Marcel's Dry Cleaning." I knew it was Jeff right away and began giggling. "Hey, dweeb," I said affectionately. "You can't fool me. This is your sister." "Hey, geek. Who were you expecting? A friend of yours?" Jeff lowered his voice. "No, Carol." "Jeff, that's not nice." "I know," he replied. I couldn't help laughing. "Do you want to talk to Dad?" asked my brother. "Maybe in a few minutes. I want to talk to you first, though. It's about this weekend." "Oh, no. It's stuff, isn't it? You guys decided to go away or something, didn't you?" "Of course not, dweeb. Claudia and I are having a sailing race on Saturday, and I want to know if you'd like to be my crew member." "We're sailing to Greenpoint Island and back." "Mom already said you could go," I added. "Really? Awesome. I'm there. Terrific." I talked to Jeff a few minutes longer, and then to Dad. But Dad and I were interrupted then when Carl dropped by. Jeff got back on the phone. "The Hair Queen is here," he whispered. The Hair Queen is here, he whispered. I laughed again. Jeff's new nickname for Carol is the Hair Queen because she is constantly getting her hair cut or dyed or something. When Jeff and I hung up, I called Claude right away. "Hi," she said. "Hi," I replied. "Well, Jeff's ready. He's really excited about the race." "Great," said Claude. But we've got one teeny tiny problem." "What?" "Becca is so excited about the race that she started calling all her friends to tell them about it. Most of the kids just thought the race was neat, but Haley Braddock wants to come with us. The Braddocks are clients of BSC. They have 2 children. Haley, who's 9, and Matt, who's 7. Matt is profoundly deaf. That means that he really can't hear either, and he has no speech. He goes to school for a deaf in Stanford, and he communicates using sign language. All the Braddocks use sign language, even Haley. In fact, she's almost an expert, so she is a neat kid. But I think sometimes she feels that Matt gets all the attention in her family. That was probably why she wanted to go boating so badly. I would be something special for her." "Well, that is a problem," I agreed. "I'd hate to tell Haley she can't come with us when she wants to invent an invitation so badly." "I know," replied Claude slowly, "but it's not fair for me to have 2 crew members and you to have only 1. Even though the kids won't be doing much. In fact, having Becca and Haley along might even make me lose. They're both pretty inexperienced." "How about this?" I suggested brightly. "You let Haley come along and I'll find a second crew member too. One who's completely inexperienced to make up for Jeff." "Well, who would you ask?" I thought for a few moments. At last I said, "I know this will sound crazy, but how about Jamie?" "Jamie Newton?" cried Claude. "He's only 4. I know, but he'd love this. He's a good swimmer. He's been taking lessons and he has this thing for boats right now. They fascinate him. Can you imagine if he got to go on a sailing race? He's been in heaven, said Claude. The only thing I went is that he'd probably rather go in your boat than in mine. Do you think the girls would mind splitting up? Becca or Haley would have to go with you and Jamie then, and the other could come with Jeff and me. A positive Jeff will want to be in my boat. We'd still be pretty balanced in terms of our crew members. Listen, before we get carried away with details, said Claude, we better call the Braddocks and the Newtons and get their permission. For all we know, they might be going away this weekend. But they aren't. The adults were delighted with the invitations for Haley and Jamie, as long as we promised all the safety stuff, like making them wear life vests. We promised. And on Wednesday, another dimension was added to our race. It was my idea, Claude, I said to her in the school cafeteria that day. Instead of just racing to Greenpoint and back, how about making this a real outing for Jeff and the kids? What kind of outing? Asked Claude. Well, we could race just to Greenpoint, not to Greenpoints and back. We could pack picnic lunches and after the race. We could stay on the island for an hour or two, eat, let the kids play in the water and look for shells and stuff, and then we could have a leisurely sail back home. That way, we'd still get our race in, and the kids could have some fun. I think that's a great idea, exclaimed Claude. We'll just have to get the parents' permission, that's all. We took care of everything that afternoon. We talked to the Newtons and to my mom, to the Braddocks and to Jessie. Her parents weren't home, but she was sure they'd approved an outing since they'd already approved the race. Becca and Haley even said they wouldn't mind going in different boats. We were set to sail.